Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we are checking out Steins episode number 9. We're ready to just dive into whatever comes next. We are going to hopefully answer the question whether the message to send to the past for Ruka worked or anything like that. We didn't get a definitive answer in the last episode, but something changed. Something changed enough that Kyoma's consciousness was sent into another timeline. And so we will figure out what that is, hopefully within this episode. If not within this episode, then I'm sure we'll find out at some point. And it's going to hopefully change the way we look at things, because I feel like we're playing with time a little too loosely. We're not necessarily being careful. We're just kind of doing whatever we want. And I feel like Kurisu's worries and concerns hopefully should be at the forefront going forward when we're messing with time stuff. So we'll check out what's going to happen within this episode. If you guys enjoy this one, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below if you could have any Upa in the world, which one would you want? Which kind of variant? It's a silly question, but that's what we're going with today. So yeah, let's just dive right into this episode. Here we go. Steins Gate, episode 9. This is true, but what happens when we send one so far in the past? Feyris knows everything. Huh? Is she using it? Damn, everyone wants in on this now, don't they? Everyone wants in on the time machine. Everyone wants to send messages to the past. Everyone playing God, not really thinking about the consequences, but hey, that's what we're here for. We're here to enjoy what comes of it. From an entertainment standpoint, of course. Chaos Theory Homostasis. That's that word back again. Wasn't that a similar title to the previous episode? I don't think she's annoyed with us. I just don't know what that conversation was. I wonder if we'll find out. Was it with her parents? Professor, perhaps? Oh dear. Aww. I'm not gonna give you shit for that, don't worry, Kurisu. She wants to present a tough exterior, but really within she's going through some shit. She's hugging the Upa because that makes everything okay. I would say put your hand in her back, but I don't know if she would want that. You can just be there for her. Aw, that's very sweet. Damn, bro, what was that? She's scared things will change. Because his consciousness is literally leaving you every time. Oh no, we're gonna send physical things now. Chottomate. Are you the organization? Are you the one tearing yourself apart here? $36 bytes plus some extra.
それ以上は無理。試したければ自分使って実験してみるわ。
No! Mayushi, say no!
ならなぜメールは送られている?
Because it's small information, I don't know.
セルンはブラックホールとリフターの力でタイムトラベルを可能にしようとしている。この電話レンジもおそらく原理は同じ。現状ではまだこれを過去にメールが送れるマシンとは言えないわ。先に進む前に今あるものの解明が先よ。
つまらん。
科学なんて 99% はつまらないものの積み重ね。あんたも科学者を自称するなら
We're not just dealing with the 0.1%.
ダメだこいつ。早くなんとかしないと。
If we put some feel in your feel.
貴様、まさか。
うるさい。それ以上言うな。そんなわけないから。
Yo, I heard you like feel, so if we put some feel in your feel, you can facepalm while you facepalm. Yo, that's crazy. That's Exhibit. She's Pit My Ride posting. That's so funny.
セレンサーバー内にあったデータの翻訳状況はどうなっている？クリスティーナ。
It's going slowly. To Channer.
だったら違うって言ってんだろ。
の割には ID 真っ赤に。
してない。
You sure know your memes.
IBN5100 での解析は？
それができれば言うことなしなんだよ。
Aw, the little smile of
どういう
assurance.
ことだ？
どういうこと？
まだ解析をしていないということか？
あ？どうやってやるん？
IBN5100 はどこにある？
僕が知るわけないっしょ。
まさか。
So, sending that message to the past affected Ruka, which affected us getting the IBN 5100. That's crazy. I wonder if Shining Finger in this timeline has it.
けどその記憶は岡部以外の誰にも残っていない。おそらく
How does that work?
E メールによる過去改変ね。
過去改変？しかし、送った内容は些細なものばかりだぞ。
Doesn't matter how minor, it still makes a
バタフライエ
difference.
フェクトよ。
There it is, the
過去に一
divergence.
つのメールを送ることでそこから世界線は分岐する。昔からよく言われている過去改変のリスクの一つよ。
では、IBN5100 はどこに？
逆に聞く。どこにあったの？
It was at the shrine.
はい。お父さんに聞いたら確かに奉納されているというのですが、
Ah, so
今は
who took it?
どこにも。
Shining Finger, the only person who knew it was here? Besides us?
確かに、柳林神社に IBN5100 はあった。
Damn,
現
Moeka.
在はない。
でも神社にパソコンを奉納するなんて不思議だね。
It is
誰
strange,
がそんなことした
right?
んだろう。過去に戻って一つだけやり直せるとしたら何をしますか？フェイリスちゃんは何する？
What would you do? Let's find out what you would send to the
そう
past.
だにゃ。フェイリスは過去は振り返らないにゃ。前を向いて
You're putting on a front.
みんなに幸せを届ける猫耳メイドの使命や。
Oh no!
電話っと。はい、フェイリスにゃ。今日もにゃパソコン？それはさっき言ってたタイムマシンと何か関係があるにゃ。
What do we say? Do we lie or do we tell the truth? I guess we'll find out later.
ウーパーメタル。
It's a Metalupa! It's a rare one! We won that in episode 1, but we lost it.
いやー、春節だった限定版見つけたん。オカリン風に言うと、この巡り合い、まさにシュタインズゲートの選択機。
軽々しく使うな。女子と一緒
Can't
に
let you out of our
いいだ
sights
ろう。
because you do some crazy shit.
突せざるを得ないだろう、上皇。
マユシーだって遊び行きたいよ。
フェイリスのやつどうして自宅にコインなどと。
キラリちゃんだ。
あ、お前に。
I thought she was going to get hit by a car there, the way they were like, wait up. Are we going to see Moeka? Oh shit. There she is. You know everything. You have got the phone. Is it a purple phone? Oh, don't get hit. Wow, we used her actual name. Holy shit, we're actually gonna die. Yo, she literally disappeared into thin air. What's up with that?
どうして FB はあるって言ってた。
FB? FB is back
さっき
again.
IBN5100 と
知ってるの？どこにあるのか。
FB Feyris?
知らないのか？
Ferris Bueller?
ないの？
What's Ferris' surname? Do we know it? It's the only character with an F I can think of.
お前シャイニングフィンガーのことを知っているのか？
知ってるよ。
なぜだなぜ知ってる
Stop shaking her like that.
萌香が D メールを送った後萌香の存在はみ
We
んなの記
forgot,
憶から消え
but in this one we remember, so we're splitting into two different timelines.
再び萌香を知ってる状態になっていた
So we've gone from one to another where one thing happened and another thing changed. There's an endless possibilities out there. Every single thing we change becomes a new possibility. And that's pretty scary when you think about it.
一番上み
Top floor, the penthouse.
お嬢様はもう間も
Oh,
なく参り
the
ます
mistress. Okay, Feyris.
見ろ人がゴミのようだいい眺めだ
オカリン
言うと思っ
He's
た
such a dork.
お待たせしたにゃ。あ、フェリスちゃん。
What's her real hair look like? Is it pink?
フェイリスさんの私服
It is
なん
pink.
たる行
Wow, it looks the
幸
same.
フェイリスはフェイリスにゃ。
ふざけるな説明がないのなら帰らせてもらう
Wow, she's still putting up the whole nyan nyan.
ここら辺の
Oh
だったんだにゃ。
shit, what?
もしかして秋葉ってそういうことにゃ。
え秋葉がどうしたん
フェリスちゃんの本名だよ。秋春美穂ちゃんって言うんだよ。
Aki Harumi. Okay, so she saw it in FB.
見苦しい現実逃避だな
ちなみに秋葉に萌え文化を取り入れるようにお願いしたのはフェイリスなのにゃ。
そこまで
Moe
そして
culture.
自らも天使としてメイクインで萌え文化の浸透に努めているなんて神
Moe ka. I don't know what the ka means.
ありがとにゃんにゃ。
にゃんにゃんでもないそれより
No にゃんにゃん
ついてだ
そのことにゃ。でもその前に簡単なお願いがあるんだ
Let me
けど
send a message to the
貴様取引しよう
past.
というのか
ただ一度だけ D メールを使わせてほしいだけにゃ。
It's gonna change something and we don't know what.
D メールは部外者には絶対秘密の
だったらフェリスちゃんもラボメンになればいいんじゃ
Number
ない
7,
かな。
007? Holy shit.
待つのだ
She going to become 007?
D メールを送るのはわかったただし前にも言ったようにフェイリスにはラボメンになってもらうお前は今日からラボメンナンバー007秋川ルミ
聞こえない
できたにゃ。
What did she
送る
send?
のは10年前でいいんだな
10 years when she was what, like 7?
そ
Maybe
れ
it?
は秘密だにゃ。
そういうわけにはいかない
We need to know what's
俺に
going
はラ
to
ボのリーダー
change.
としてその内容を知っておく義務が
ダメにゃ。乙女のプライベートは男子禁制にゃ。人のメール見るのは良くないと思います。
激しく同意な
ハ
俺だそちらの状況を伝える
Yeah, be a
あ
normal
女切りや
person.
がった
Be a normal
クリスティー
person.
ナも女子の分際で
ハロ
不応印記はまだ無言できるな
ーほーいなんだおかみさんいたずら電話かと思った
こちらの番号は表示されていただろう
それでもいきなりあんなこと言われたら気味悪くなって切るわよ
Yo, she's got a
つまり
point.
この不応印記をまにイフを覚えているんだ
Yo, Kurisu's so real for that. He's being a total weirdo.
ハロー
聞けザゾーン
That's when she hits the most. Hello.
私岡部倫太郎と申しますが
何
電話レンジカッコ仮の設定を先ほどお送りさせていただいたおメールの通りにお設定してお起動していただきたく思うのですが
最初からそう言えばいいのよそれと敬語変だから日本人としてそれじゃ恥ずかしいわよ
黙れこのセルセルが下手に出ればいい
仲が悪いのかにゃ。多分いいんじゃないかな。
I think it's the opposite. I think they actually really like each other.
やっぱりメールはしな
Maybe I don't need to do
フェイリ
this.
ス放電が始まった送信しろ
Okay, it happened.
あなたははえ
Did her father die 10 years ago and she was sending a message that would save his life?
IBN5100 をご存知ですか
ずいぶん懐かしい名前ですね。
探しているんです
残念ですが、もうずいぶん前に手放してしまいまして。
The shrine.
もしかして柳林神社に奉納されたとか
神社いえ、そのようなことは。
What's going on here? We gotta learn some answers.
IBN5100 は神社に奉納された後消えた。が、今度はそもそも奉納されていない。
Yeah, things are really messed up.
メールを送るたびに何かが少しずつ変わっていく。俺の知らないところでも何かが変わっているのかもしれない。
The flapping wings of a butterfly are changing everything. Oh shit, the ending playing into the episode? Hell yeah.
俺たちはもう取り返しのつかないことを。
That's what I've been thinking this whole time. They don't own all the land anymore, is that it? Oh shit, everything's different. We've actually just undone everything. Do we even have a lab? Oh, this is going to be a tough one to undo. One simple message. That's crazy. What do we do now? Do we just keep sending messages until we somehow undo whatever we just did? Is that Feyris? Like, I just don't know who that is. Purple hair could be Feyris. Has like the big peak in the middle like Feyris does. So I guess it could be her, right? It just, the purple hair is what throws me off. But does the ending have a whole new meaning now where time and everything that is related to the changing, everything that's changed that's happened so far within the series? Sorry, let me just put this here. Everything that's happened, all the changes, all the time, messy stuff, is all of it now kind of hanging on the linchpin of Feyris? Is she the one thing that's kind of shattered everything but is holding it together? She changed something and so now that is changing everything. And all these little things that we were doing in the past, the lotto, you know, all this here, like it changed stuff, but nothing drastic, nothing crazy, nothing huge. And now something's changed that has completely rocked our world, has completely changed our world, and now we don't even know how to fix that. We don't know what even happened. We don't know the message she sent. We're going to have to read the email at some point. I assume we can do that. Actually, I don't know if we can because she sent it from her phone, so I don't know if we would have a way to read that. But yeah, this has changed a lot, and it's, yeah. And that was episode 9 of Steins Gate, which was really mind-boggling. I can't even speak right now. It was a mind-boggling episode that really opened up a lot of possibilities and potential for the future, and not a lot of good ones at that. I'm glad that we have like more than half the show still to go, because we can start to figure more things out, get more answers while still having more questions that will eventually be answered, and also try to figure out a way to fix things, make things right, and potentially even make it so that we don't make these same mistakes again, potentially. Like, I don't know how this works, because no matter what we do one thing, it changes the world line. So even if we in the future figure out a way to undo a lot of the stuff that we did, there's going to be a future where we didn't undo all that stuff. And so it's just making more timelines, more world lines, and it's getting very, very concentrated, I guess. Like, there's a concentrate of just all these decisions and choices, and it's going to be probably impossible to undo all of it. The whole point of this episode was Feyris making a change 10 years ago, and that change, we don't actually know what it is. I cannot recall if her father was ever mentioned to be dead. I know her father was the one who donated probably the IBM 5100 to the shrine, but the fact that we saw her father at the end of the episode, does that indicate that she sent a message to the past that would ensure he survives something, that he didn't go to work one day where he was killed, or just something like that, and she saved his life by sending a message, and so that has had huge ramifications on everything else? Or maybe if he already was alive, she sent a message to the past which undid a business decision or something that he did that meant it changed the outlook and the whole rest of the city, because Akiba is not as it was. It is completely different now, and it's kind of worrying that we don't know where things are, we don't know what anything is, and so we don't actually know if we have a lab or just anything like that. Everything is just ruined right now. The scene with Kurisu on the phone, I wonder if she was talking to a family member or a professor or who she was talking to, but she obviously seemed very distressed. She seemed to be very frustrated that whoever it was she was talking to was maybe misunderstanding her or was just not really listening, and so that led to a situation where she started to cry. And it's strange seeing her like this because we haven't really seen her be emotionally vulnerable, I guess. We have seen her be vulnerable, in other situations, not really crazy, but within this situation she is very emotionally vulnerable, and she goes to Kyoma with threats of, don't even ask me, you didn't see anything, none of that happened. And then she just buries her head into an upa and starts cuddling it, which is very Mayushi. It's almost like the influence of Mayushi's positivity rubbing off on Kurisu here, because Mayushi wants everyone in the world to have an upa so that when they're feeling sad they can cuddle it. And that's exactly what Kurisu does in this episode. She cuddles with it and she starts crying into it. And when Okabe Rintaro is like, hey, we're friends now, we've known each other for a while, if you ever want to talk, I'm here for you. You can share anything. I'll help in any way I can. And sitting here reading that and hearing him say that, it's really touching, and it means a lot coming from him because this is the most we have seen him be nice, I guess, to Kurisu. Like, he's always just kind of bantering with her and then being sarcastic and everything, but in this situation he seemed to have said something really nice. But I wonder if it's kind of like a defense mechanism or something that he does where he has to play it off as a joke, because he immediately pulls out his phone and starts pretending to talk on it, being like, ha, she fell for it, ha ha ha, and brings levity to the scene. It brings like an air of humor, but it also takes away from the sincerity of the scene. And I wonder if that's something he'll work on, or if that's just him. He's a mad scientist, and so that's just his character. We'll just have to get used to it. But Kurisu was very confused because she seemed to appreciate the words he was saying up until then. Fast forward, and Feyris is inquiring about the time machine, and while inquiring about the time machine she wonders if she could maybe be involved. She doesn't make it obvious. I don't think she asks at any point until later in the episode, but she asks Okabe about it, she asks Daru about it, and she asks Mayushi. So 3 people who are very involved, and she knows that. And she kind of tries to use Okabe, but Okabe's not falling for it. She manages to get information out of Daru because he's just a pervert and he'll just share anything with her because that's just who he is. And then with Mayushi, she's almost using that friendship to learn about things, because Mayushi and Feyris are good friends. They work together, they seem to go to school together potentially, and they seem to be very friendly with one another. And then later, a little bit later, Okabe poses the question of, why don't we use or try to use physical time travel? And Kurisu immediately shuts it down because theoretically right now they're only able to send like 36 characters into the past, 36 characters of information from a phone or from an email, whatever, D-mail, and those characters have very little data, information, whatever. The bytes on them are very small, so to send them into the past, it's not asking for a lot, and the information cannot turn to jelly apparently because it's digitized. But when they do something physical, like they saw with the banana, it turns to jelly. And we have seen that across the reports from CERN as well, where the jelly men happened and people who traveled in time were turned to jelly. And so that meant there was a mismatch and it failed. So I wonder if for it not to fail, there has to be someone like Okabe whose consciousness can travel. His consciousness can travel. We have seen it travel. And so if he was to physically be teleported or sent back in time or whatever, if that would be okay, because the mismatch is no longer there, he can literally send his consciousness across these planes. And so I wonder if that's going to happen, if he will be the perfect match for this sort of thing. And so the whole joke about why don't you be the guinea pig would actually work for him, but at the same time, he's not going to be able to fit into a microwave. They don't actually still know the truth about this microwave. They don't know enough about it. They just know that it works. They don't know why it works or how it works, or if it's the microwave itself. It could be something else, but it's working and they're not changing anything to see what else works. So they need to run more experiments on how this thing works exactly, why it works the way it does, so that they can maybe figure out a way to change things in the future to send anything larger or anything else besides information like the 36 characters. Kurisu hilariously makes a joke related to Pimp My Ride, exhibit. Yo, dog, I heard you like blanks, so I gave you blank and blank. Anyone who is above the age of, I would say, maybe 2021 probably has some idea of what this is. Let's maybe make that 23. Anyone 23, 24 probably knows what that is. Anyone younger, you're probably struggling to know what that is because it's maybe a little before your time. But yeah, I'll flash an example of it on screen right now. Here it is. This is kind of what I'm talking about. And then we find out we don't even have the IBM 5100 in this world line. So we're starting to see the way things change. We're starting to see that the IBM 5100, we don't have it in this world line, but we learn later on Moeka and Shining Finger are known in this timeline. So this one thing, like this is the normal. And then Moeka sent a message to the past, and that created two different timelines. Seemingly one where she's remembered, one where she's forgotten. And we went to the one where she was forgotten. And now that they have sent this other message to the past or done these other stuff, regarding Ruka, more timelines have created. So a timeline in the one where she's remembered and forgotten created a timeline where this message from Ruka did one thing or the other, and then the one where she's forgotten did one thing or the other. So we went into the one where Moeka was remembered and where the message from Ruka was sent to the past, but the IBM 5100 was not got. So all these different timelines are creating an absolute insane map, one that I wouldn't even be able to draw out right now because it's just so absurdly huge. It's just exponentially growing at this point. Every single decision that we make, this episode really gives us an insight into how deep that goes, and I think that they did a great job of showcasing that because all these different things have changed. Kyoma has a run-in with Moeka, but also almost has a run-in with Traffic, which had me worried for a second. I thought that he'd maybe be hit and break an arm or break a leg or just something, and he would have to be sent to the hospital, or just I thought that something was going to get in between this moment where he confronts her and she doesn't know anything about where the 5100 is. She's saying before we get there that FB said it would be here. I theorized FB might have been Feyris something. Feyris Butler, Feyris Bueller, I don't know. But that might not be the case. I don't know who it is, what is happening here, but she seems disappointed. And we learn that she is known by the other lab members. So within this world line, she might be lab member number 5. I don't actually know. But then obviously the big part of this episode was going to Feyris's house, which was the top floor, because her family is very important, her father is very important, and he owns all the land around here. And Rintaro is just looking at it like, wow, everyone looks so small. And yeah, it's very, very Okabe in that scene. But then we find out that she is actually a very important person. She brought the Moe culture to this location, and her father is someone who owns all this land, right? And she becomes lab member 007. And yeah, I don't know if there is more to learn from her, or if she's just kind of like the linchpin, the one who caused so much destruction to the world lines, like unintentionally too. I know she probably didn't intend to do this, but we don't learn what it is that she sends to the past, and that's kind of a huge problem because we don't know what we can do to change that or to make it so that things don't go as awful as this. Because no matter what, if we get sent to another consciousness now in another world line, something else might be changed, something else might be different, and we won't necessarily have everything be as plain sailing going forward. Everything just might be a mess from now on. And yeah, when she sends the message to the past, I've already talked about my queries and questions about Feyris's father, that whole side of things, and we don't know the extent at which this has changed things. We see that the locations have changed completely. Everything is different here seemingly, and only Okabe remembers things as they were, and we don't know why things have changed so drastically or what that means for us going forward, but it's pretty scary to think of because we don't know what we need to do now, what we can do, or what can happen going forward in order to change anything whatsoever, because things are getting so ridiculous now with the differences in each world line, and it's kind of scary to think what could happen the next time it happens. And I think Okabe Rintaro is starting to realize he can't play God here, he can't keep messing with time, and he needs to be more strict with things, and I think that that's what we'll maybe see in the next episode and going forward. But yeah, that's probably going to do it for me for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below, like I said, if you could have any variant of Hoopa, which would it be and why. But yeah, I hope that you guys are having a great day today and that you're able to take it easy. I will see you in the next one. Take care.